Hello, in this video we're going to learn how to use and change the workbook properties that are attached to workbooks when you open them. So I have a workbook open that came with our text, and so we're going to have a look at some of the properties that are attached to the workbook, whether that workbook stays on your workstation, your USB, or if it travels to somebody else if you're using a shared document. So to get to the workbook properties area, we click on an area that's called the backstage. So if you click on the file menu at the top, that will take us to what we call the backstage. And you'll see that in the backstage there are a few different property options that you can choose. So you can protect the whole workbook. You can inspect for various different publishing issues for document properties, different versions. If you're working with various versions of the software, you can manage those versions in the backstage area, and different browser view options as well. But the area that we're going to concentrate on is the area on the right here called the properties, the workbook properties option. So it gives you a fair bit of information, how big the file is, a title if you've given it a title. Keep in mind that all of these are fields. So if you remember from the work you've done in database, every field is searchable. So if you're working in, especially in a large organization, say you're working in a large hospital, you might want to fill in all of these areas to allow for easier search and find different documents. So you can give each of your documents a title. You can give it a tag or more, categories. You can fill in all of these. It tells you the date that it was last modified, tells you when it was created, when it was printed, and related people. So when you're opening data files that came with your textbook, the author you'll see is listed as Paradigm Publishing, because they're the publisher of the book that you are using for the course. Then when you log on to a computer and you modify a document, your username is dropped into this spot because you'll be the last person that modified the document. You can click here to show all properties, and a few more things appear as well. The date when it was last printed as well. If there's a manager that's involved, you can attach a manager. That's especially important when you're using documents that are shared with more than one person. Also, the same thing goes if you're saving documents on a shared server. You can click there and it will give you the location of the document. In this case, it brought me right to the desktop because this document that we're looking at right now is on my desktop. So to change properties, you click on File, you go to the Properties area, and if you needed to change who it was modified by or any of those, you would do it in this area that is called the Backstage. So that's how you look at workbook properties that travel with the document. I know some organizations, when they complete a document that is maybe being copied and sent to a bunch of people, they even print this page and attach it to the document so that all of the related file information is sent along with it. So all of these, again, are searchable because they're all fields. You can even put comments in up there. It gives you information as to when it was created, when it was modified, all of that information that can be useful, especially in doing searches. So that's how you use the workbook properties.